All right, hi. So this is the fourth time we've taken this assessment. This is the fourth time you'll be assessing yourself with this video to see how it's going. Here we go. It goes in order. So reading tenths and hundredths is first. 9/10ths. So I want to circle the correct decimal. I have 9, 9/100ths, and 9/10ths. 200ths. I have 2, 200ths, 2/10ths, 700ths, 70, 700ths, 7/10ths. And if you're struggling with this, we count the decimal places to the right to know what we're reading there. All right, next up is writing hundredths. It's that second one. So 9/100ths. So I have my 0 or not, decimal point, another 0, and a 9. Because when it's hundredths, there's 2 digits to the right, one of those digits being a 0. In this case, 4/10ths. There's only 1 digit to the right of the decimal point, so that's 0 and 4/10ths. And then we have 51/100ths. So again, 2 digits to the right of the decimal point, and we have those 2 digits right there, 51. So 51/100ths. Again, so, and this will be a clue later, I don't say 5/10ths 100ths. Okay, I read the number, 51/100ths. This becomes very important when we get to thousandths. All right, so next one. What was that? Reading mixed decimals, tenths and hundredths. There you go, the third one. 14 and 7/10ths. Well, I have 1 and 47/100ths. 14 and 7/100ths, or 14 and 7/10ths. That's what I needed. 9 and 9/100ths. I have 99/100ths. 9 and 9/10ths. 9 and 9/100ths. And 75 and 14/100ths. So I have 7,514, 75 and 14/100ths, 7 and 514,000ths. So listen to that again, 7 and 514,000ths. I don't say 500ths 14,000ths. That wouldn't make any sense. I just read the number, 514,000ths. All right, here we go to writing mixed decimals. 75 and 29/100ths. So I just write my whole number 75. I shouldn't say whole number. My numeral. Whole number? Yeah. And 29/100ths. 19 and 6/100ths. 19. 2 digits to the right of that's what hundredths are. One of those digits needs to be a 0 because I just have a 6 there. And we have 98 and only 1 digit to the right, 9/10ths. So that was writing mixed decimals. I start collecting too much stuff. All right, writing in columns and working them. So again, we have to line things up with the decimal point, paying attention to place value. I like to add the zeros. Add the zeros. Write the zeros. Sorry, it is Friday afternoon. I will be more thoughtful. And then one thing I'm doing, I made that mistake on the problem string. I don't know if you've seen that yet, but I should be doing some estimating here. So I see like 12, 8, and 3. So my answer should be around 23. All right, so that if I make some sort of horrible calculation error, like I don't put my decimal point or I'm way off, then that'll help me out. So 3 plus 2 is 5, plus 8 is 13 and 23. So 23 and 62/100ths. I feel pretty good. Might I made a mistake somewhere? Maybe, but I'm rechecking my work. And again, even rechecking sometimes it just doesn't work because you get so sure that you're right. That's called bias. We're all very biased about how right we are all the time, not just with math. Okay, we have 12 plus 7/10ths plus 87. So there's 2 whole numbers. I'm going to write those. I can kind of write them in whatever order I want. And then we have a 7/10ths. So again, if I wanted to show that respect for the place value, what is going to be around 100? Because we have 90 and 10, so around 100. So 0 plus 7 is 7. My decimal point. 7 plus 2 is 9. Again, there's a 0 here, a 0 here. 8 plus 1 is 9. 99 and 7/10ths. That feels pretty good. Looking at that again feels nice. All right, next I wonder if my little camera can stretch a little bit more. I'll just go up a little bit. There we go. 8/100ths plus 43 plus 3/10ths. So I have 8/100ths plus 43, and then 3/10ths. Again, writing those zeros to help me keep track. And oops, sorry about that. And respect place value there. So now my answer should not be over 43. Okay, looking at these numbers. 8 plus 0 is 8. 0 plus 3 is 3. My decimal point drops down. 0 plus 3 is 3. 0 plus 4 is 4. 43 and 38. I'm not over. Well, I shouldn't have said over 43. I should have said 44. I should have said 44. All right. Next up, we have 9 minus 7.5. So that's, if I round this to 8, my answer should be 1, around 1. Okay, not past 1. Thinking of this as 9 minus 7.5, I know that would just be 1.5 because 1.5. If I wanted to show this on a number line, if I'm at 7.5, I can kind of go 0.5 to 8, and then another 1 to 9, and so that's where I get the 9. 1.5. 7 minus 2300ths. I'm going to be less than 7, but not less than 6. So I know this is 6 here, and I know my 100 combinations. So if I'm at 23 and I need to get to 100, I'm going to be adding 77. So 6 and 77 hundredths is my answer. And if I wanted to see that, I could start at 7, remove what, 20 or 2/10 to get to 6 and 8/10, and then 1, 2, 3 hundredths to get to 6 and 77 hundredths. And last but not least, 10 minus 8/10. Again, that's not even a whole 1, so I'm going to be in the 9s, but not past that. And it's going to be a 2, because 2 plus 8 is 10. So 0.2 plus 0.8 is 1. Got to know those 100 combinations. Oh, sorry. So that was the column one. That was the subtracting decimals from the whole number. So if I haven't been respecting that yet, we are now here. This is we've done. You should have filled out on these. Hopefully, again, one of the things that I think I like about this, and hopefully you like too, because I've heard some conversations around this, is like, oh, I used to be not yet. Now I've mastered it, or you should see some progress. Okay, if you're not progressing, one of the things that you're going to need to think about is what help do you need? Do you need specific help from me? Are you watching the videos, or are you just trying to do the work yourself? Things like that. So you might have to make some different decisions on how you're working or studying, practicing. The harder you work, the smarter you get. It's true. You just get all this stuff in your head. The harder you work. It's great stuff. Okay, and then you can use it. Use it and reuse it. Smallest over here, largest over here. Again, seeing this, I see 16, so I know this is going to be my largest number. And now I compare. So 11, 11, 11, that's going to be, I'm just going to write those in. 11 decimal point, 11 decimal point, 11 decimal point. So now everything has to do with to the right of the decimal point. I see a 6, a 0, and a 1. Well, I can put that in order. 0 is the least, 1 is the next, and then 6. So this would be 0, 6, 1, 6, and 0.6. So 11 and 6 hundredths is less than 11 and 16 hundredths, which is less than 11 and 6 tenths, which is way less than 16 and 1 hundredths. All right, now we are going to thousandths. So again, this says 306 thousandths. How many decimal points to the right? How many place value to the right of the decimal point when it comes to thousandths? 3. And then we just read the number, 306 thousandths. This is 306. This is 30 and 6,000, or 6/10, sorry. And this is 306 10,000ths. This is 306 10,000ths. 47 thousandths. This is 47. 470 thousandths. 47 thousandths right here. And 47 10,000ths right there. All right, so that was reading a thousandths. Now it's time to write these thousandths. How many places to the right? How many digits do we need? We need 3. We're in thousandths town, and we have 3 as our numerator, so we just write those. Here, again, we have 29 thousandths. 3, we need 3 digits to the right. We only have 2 in the numerator, so that means one of them have to be a 0, so we have 29 thousandths. Here we have 5 thousandths. How many digits do we need to the right? We need 3. So 2 of those need to be 0, and then our 5. Okay, now we're into rounding town. Sounds like a nice place to Rounding Town. Where do you live? I live in Rounding Town. All right, whole numbers. So whole numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this number 9 and 199 thousandths is in between 9 and 10. Which one is it closest to? 9. If I ever wanted to use the strategy that I showed in the video, I put my line to the place value I'm rounding to. I look to the right. I see that's a 1, so I keep it as it is or round down. I've noticed some of you get confused when you say round down. You would write 8 down there. That's rounding way down. So rounding down just means you're putting the whole number or the thing that is less than where you are, because 9 is less than 9 and 199 thousandths. It's less. So that's why you're rounding down. 6 and 501 thousandths. Well, that's just a wee bit more than half. So that's going to be rounding up to 7. Again, if I wanted to use that strategy, I'm putting my line at the 6. I look right next door. I see the 5. That is rounding up. There is some controversy to that in the mathematics world, but we're not going to get into that right now. If you watch the video and you'd like to know, let me know, and I can tell you what some mathematicians think we should do. All right, rounding decimals to nearest hundredth. So I have here's 10th. Oh, you got to read that, don't you? And here's 100th. So right next door is a 4, so this is still 4 and 100th, because this is between 4 and 100th and 4 and 200ths. This number in here, so we're in between 12 and 800ths and 12 and 900ths. This rounds up to 12 and 900ths. Rounding the decimals to the nearest 10th. Did I do that on purpose, like mess you up like that? Sorry if I did. 10th. Here's my 10th. There's a 5 next door. 13 and 1/10. So what are the 2/10ths it's between? 13 and 13 and 1/10. This number. All right. Tenths again. We're staying the same. 19 and 4/10. Now we're going to be rounding with 9s. The nearest 10th. So that's here. I'm rounding up. The 10ths I'm in between is 43 and 9/10 and 44. So rounding up gets me to 44. 89 and 9/10 with a 1 next door. That has me stay at 89 and 9/10. And 79 and 9/10. 8 next door. It's going to get me all the way up to 80. Again, you shouldn't be doing the decimal point and zeros after that. All right, nearest hundredth. Where's my hundredth? It's right here. There's a 5 there. That's going to round everything up to 29. 99 and 99 hundredths, or sorry, 9,929 ten thousandths. We're going to say right there at 99 and 99 hundredths. And then we have 12 and 999 thousandths. Well, that sounds very close to 13, so I really don't have to think too much there. 13. Okay, so again, these six, if you forget, is this one right here, rounding decimals. Okay. And then the next 6, which are these 6, that's rounding with that 9 there, which is this one right here. All right, now let's multiply by 10. 10 times 3 and 4/10. So my digits are shifting. See, I noticed I changed that. Did you see that? I used to say added, and I wanted a better word, and it's shifting. 10 and 3 and 4/10. So my digits shift 1 spot to the left. I have 100. My digits are shifting 2 spots to the left. For 344. 10, they're shifting 1 spot to the left again to 34 and 4/10. All right, now we're multiplying by 110 when some zeros are shifting. So I have 489. Everything's shifting 1 spot to the left, which means this 0 came from where? The tenths. So it came up. 148 and 9/10. 100 times 48 and 9/10. Everything's shifting 2 spots. So from the tens to the hundreds, thousands. So look at that. It's the same number. 100 times 489, so things are shifting 2 spots here, so that's going to be 1 more spot than up here. So we're at 48,900. So this second 0 was in the hundredths, got shifted over from there. Then we have 100 times 1,489 and 8/10. Everything's shifting 2 spots, so this was at the thousandths, so it's going 10,000, 100,000, 148,980. So that 8 shifted from the tenths to the tens, and the 0 that was here is now in the ones. How did it go? How did you do? Where are you at? Boogity boo. Is that was I just made that up, and that wasn't very good. Bye, everybody.